Okay, hit me live. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa from Crafting and Cruising. A little bit early. We kind of accidentally quickly hit the go live button a minute early. So anyway, that's okay. We're going to just give it a couple of minutes for her to finish up her craft, and then we're going to start. And hey Cheryl, I just want to thank you all for being a part of this event, the Sunflower Build-Up event. This is my first event with the Crafted Creators community, but I'm so honored that Tammy let me come in and be a part of it. Sorry, went off for a minute. I'm real grateful to Tammy for letting me be here, and there have been some amazing creators so far, and there's going to be many more after me. So make sure that you're a part of the CCC. And when you do the search at the top, if you'll put in capital CCC, hey Beverly, and then in parentheses it says Crafters Creative Community, then you'll know you're in the right spot. And then after each crafter, all you have to do is just refresh your page, and you'll see the next crafter. So, anyhow, I am super duper excited to be here. My page is called Crafting and Cruising. My husband is in the background.
Hello, everybody.
And he reads comments for me, and sometimes he does the crafting for me. So I'm very grateful to have him here with us today to read comments for us. And one thing that Tammy had asked us to do is sort of tell everybody who we are and how long we've been crafting and what we sell. And so I was a watercolorist for years. It's still my favorite medium, and I have picked it back up, but I always said I'm not going to be a crafter. That's just not my thing. Until the pandemic hit. And I was watching Facebook one day, and I ran across a crafter, and she was using things around the home that we would probably all have to make something creative. Well, we were all stuck inside, so I thought, maybe I'll try something like that. And the rest, as they say, is history. Now, I've also done a lot of mixed media. I've done watercolor in mixed media most recently. Hey, Veronica, sweet sister. Hey, welcome, Just Jackie Crafting. So I'm kind of an eclectic crafter. I'm just going to show you a few examples real quick. This was a watercolor mixed media I did. I used, forget what this is called, but anyway, to texture paint, molding paste. To make it look a little more fluffy. So that was a watercolor. Watercolor, like I said, is my favorite medium. I did this cute little angel out of what we think was a table leg maybe, or a chair leg. Had Sister Kimberly. So I did this. I'm starting to do some more things with steampunk. I don't know why, I'm just kind of in the mood. So I did this on an old ceiling tile, 100 years old, from the house of a former or the family members of ours. So I'm doing some steampunk things, and then I do lots of trays. I just pulled this off, so let me hold it on here. Need to glue it back on. I do lots of trays with resin, some of them with resin, some of them without resin. So let me stick a little hot melt on here real quick while I got it over here, since I broke that off. So I just kind of, I'm eclectic. That's the best way to describe it, I think, is I'm very eclectic. I just like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I love rusty stuff. I love cracking things. And Rodney and I are the parents of 3 children, 2 daughters and a son, and we are the grandparents of 4 granddaughters, ranging in age from 18 all the way down to 6. She just turned 6. So right now I'm in our motorhome, and this is where the name for our page came from. My husband is still working. I travel with him a lot, and when I go, I don't like to just sit in the car. I want to be doing something with my hands. So he once made me a lap tray that I still use out of a Home Depot box. Punched some holes in it for my paintbrushes to go in, put a little sponge and a circular cutout for a water container. And yesterday we were on the road for a while, and I made some ATC cards. So I just like being busy. Well, then we got this motorhome, and we're part of a camping club, and so during camping season we go camping. And he can be driving the bus toward where we're going, and I can be back here crafting and sometimes doing lives. Don't tell. I don't want the police coming after me. But then I crafted the campground and things like that. So we are actually in the motorhome. I have an art studio right next to me. I have stuff in my house. I'm trying to get things kind of organized and in one central location, but it's kind of hard when you're, you know, back and forth, back and forth. But this is kind of my home base, is in the motorhome. So I'm going to get Rodney to turn the air conditioner off up here so it won't sound so noisy. And I'm going to pull you up on this iPad before we get started. And then we can get started. So we're going to do a fun sunflower craft today. By the way, Tammy, if you're on here, I forgot about doing the post until the last minute, and I still had Ellie in there. So I did put Beth's page, but I didn't have time to put the actual link, Facebook link. If you want to put that in for me, that would be great. So Beth, one of my sweet, sweet dear friends, Beth with Rekindle Blessings, is coming on next. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take canning jar lids, and we're going to use the centers too. We are going to take wood rounds. Let me reach over here and grab them. Like this, that come in a box from Dollar Tree, I think. We're going to take strips of fabric from the quarter squares or whatever they're called from Joann's. And we're going to make sunflowers. So, I have enough to do 3. I've already done one as a sample, but I don't want you to see what it looks like yet. So, let's get started. I've already started on this one. So, what I did was my husband drilled holes in the bottom of the ring for the stem to go up through and sit down in the wood. So, I took pieces of fabric. I've done a yellow one. Now I want to do one kind of reddish. And I cut them about 1 inch wide and about 7.5 inches long. You want to tilt me down? Sorry, y'all. Couldn't even see what I was talking about. However, I would recommend next time, y'all aren't going to be able to see me. You'll just see what I'm doing. I would recommend next time, if you were going to do it, to cut them longer than 7.5 inches. And then you can go back and trim them up like you want them. This works, but it's really hard for my fingers, probably because I'm old, to get in this loop and bring these little ends up. But that's all I do, is I loop the fabric, bring the ends up, and pull them taut. Except that end didn't come up, so let's try that again. I hope y'all are having a beautiful Sunday. It's really pretty here in Nashville, but yesterday, I think it was cooler than it is today, and I'm sick of the heat, and I'm sick of the humidity, and I'm ready for fall. So I just looped it, pulled it taut, kind of separate both of them to make sure they're real tight in there, and then turn them, and we're just going to go all the way around the ring doing this. So tell me in the comments, if you will, where you're from. And how is the weather where you are?
Your friend Sonia is watching.
Sonia Robinson?
Yep.
Oh, hey, Sonia, sister.
And lots of folks.
Okay, let's
Kathy
see.
Snyder.
I know there's going to be a lot of new people on here, and I'm so excited to have some new friends on here. If you're not following Crafting and Cruising, we would love for you to follow us. At the top of my page, I have a telegram that you can click the link and be notified when we're going live. I typically go live Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, but sometimes, especially if I'm in an event, I'll go live during the week as well. And we're Southern. We live in the South, so it's not crafting and cruising. It's crafting and cruising. But you don't have to put the apostrophe. 75 degrees in Ohio. Boise, Idaho. Hey, Jackie, welcome. Some of these are just too short for my fingers, which are not very clock. Okay. See, this is good. But we had some sunflowers this year, you guys. Kind of didn't really expect them, but they grew, and we had some, of course, the standard you know, yellow color ones that are so pretty. But we also had some that were a really deep, like rust red. They were gorgeous. And so I tried to follow Shayna with Frame It Contain It's suggestion on how to harvest the seeds so we can plant some more next year and have some more.
Karen Wallen is a first-time watcher from Missouri.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. So y'all, I've only been really actually crafting since, for serious crafting since the pandemic. But I didn't start my page right then. I decided I would wait a little bit and see if it was something, you know, that I really felt like I wanted to do and was going to be committed to, especially because my husband is working and traveling, and I love getting to travel with him, but when we're on the road sometimes, we may not always be in a location where it's a convenient time to craft. So I'm a firm believer in prayer. And so I prayed about it, and Rodney prayed about it, and I just decided that if it was something that I could do and could have fun with and not be stressed about, that I wanted to do it. But if it ever got to the point where it became too stressful, then, you know, maybe I would know that it was time for me to not do it anymore.
Stacy French is watching from Delaware for
Hey,
the first time.
Stacy, welcome, welcome.
And Linda Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury, excuse me.
Shrewsbury.
First time watcher from Florida.
Welcome. What part of Florida? I love me some Florida. Go to Destin about every year, have for years and years and years. I like the Emerald Coast and the Panhandle.
And Cindy Basozi from Texas. And I apologize ahead of time if I mess these names up. I'm always messing names up.
Our name gets messed up all the time too. Our last name is Seiler, and I get called Silver and Slyer and Siller and, you know, all the
We
things.
just answered anything.
So we just say, yeah, that's right. You said it. So y'all, I have, my husband and I both have done mission work in Dominican Republic for several years, and then we started doing mission work in Uganda, Africa. And for a while served on the board of directors there. He was the chairman of the board, and I was the secretary. And I have been to Uganda 12 times, leading teams of people, helping widows and abandoned women and their children be able to start a life, because many of them don't have, most of them don't have a husband or a man in their life, and their children can't go to school unless they speak English. Believe it or not, English is like the primary language, and most of the mamas didn't speak English. So we were involved in a program that not only taught the children that we were keeping English, but we also taught the mamas English. And then we taught them some skills. We had pottery, we had leather crafts, we had sewing class, we had rug making, farming God's way. And then we started a school, a preschool, and the children that leave the preschool from the program have ranked in the top 10% in the regular primary school when they get there. So we're very proud of what all we did to help the children. So it's been a beautiful ministry. I feel like I have family there. They're just like family to me, and I still keep in contact with most of the ones that I was really close to there. So you will notice I do have sunflowers on my Amazing Grace shirt, by the way, but my necklace is the continent of Africa. So Africa and Dominican Republic are in my heart. Okay, here you go, guys. So we've got these. Let me try to straighten them up a little bit and see if any of them need to be trimmed. I don't think many of them are going to need much trimmed off. This one's a little bit long. So we'll trim these up just slightly.
Crafty Peep says, leave more than you take is one of my favorite sayings.
That's right.
My dad
Tammy,
always
you're
said,
right.
leave things a little bit better than you find them.
That's exactly what my mother said. Leave things better than you found them. When we used to travel as children, my parents always took us on a family vacation every summer, and usually we stayed in hotels for the first many years. And when we would get ready to check out, my mother would have us strip the beds and empty the trash and, just make the room look neat. And as children, we were like, why should we do that when somebody's coming in to get it ready for the next guest? And my mom said, because you need to leave a place better than you found it. Which I don't know that we left it better, but we did at least help with people who were having to take care of the needs of the next guest before they arrived. Okay, so now I have some of these fabrics left, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to use. Maybe that one in the middle. I don't think I want to use another red in the middle. If I did, I would use that one because we've used these. Do y'all like the red as the center, or do you like the yellow as the center?
Beth said her mom said the same thing.
Did really?
It was her dental lessons.
That's right. Hey, Sister Beth, love you, sis.
Gotta raise these kids right.
Okay, so do y'all think the yellow or the red for the center?
Any votes on
Yellow. Junk Winch says yellow. Hey, Diane Morris. Gabrielle says yellow. Okay, we're going to do yellow. Okay.
First two got it.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to lay out the little inside lid like this. And I'm going to trace around it with the pencil. But I'm going to cut it bigger than that because on my lid, first thing I'm going to do is put just a little bit of batting on here to make the center part of the sunflower be poofy, because if you look at a sunflower, that center part that holds the seeds is usually kind of fat, filled with seeds.
Hello, Andrea. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Glad you're here. This event has been so fun. Tammy has done an amazing job. If you're not following Tammy with Craft, C-R-A-F dash capital T, Peep, you definitely need to follow Tammy. And I would assume that you're probably already following CCC, Crafty Creators Community. Is that what it is? Crafty Creative Community.
Kind of a tongue twister.
It is kind of a tongue twister, but I knew what it was. Tammy does events fairly often, she and her team, and just has done some neat stuff. Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna leave myself a lot of extra around here. Now, when I made my sample, I did go back and trim off some of this after I got it all put together because I just didn't like the excess sticking out the back. I think these would be really cute to use in a little vignette on in a tier tray or just on a little side table, coffee bar. And of course you don't just have to, I mean, these would be totally for fall. They wouldn't just be for Halloween by any means. Sunflowers are fall. Okay, so here's what I think I'm going to do. Let me think. I think I'm going to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac. And y'all, here's a tip. Keep something like a long needle or something down in your glues to try to keep them open. I don't know if y'all have that problem, but I have the hardest time keeping glue from drying up, and then when I get on and need to use it, I can't get it unstopped.
Kimberly suggested you could use one of these in a wreath.
You could, Kimberly. That's a great idea.
You could also, once you get the base on it, use them to hold down napkins if you're having a picnic outside this fall.
And you know, that's a great idea too, as long as, and you also could put a little clip on the end of it, one of the little clip holder things that you can get at Michael's and Hobby Lobby to put name tags in, like if you want to use it on your table, to put place setting titles in. If y'all can tell, if you can't tell, I'm going to tell you that I love turquoise. So, that's another little fact about me. Okay, let me add just a little hot melt right here and start pulling this up a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put the hot melt. Do as I say, not as I do, okay? I don't need the hot melt. I'm going to turn my ring over. I'm going to push this center down in here real well. And I'm going to hear that pop to make sure that the there it goes. Center is really popped out. I don't want it to be flat. Whew. Take some strength, y'all. Okay. See? Isn't that cute?
Kimberly said you can mist it with essential oils and make a pretty room freshener.
Kimberly, that's a great idea too, sister.
Full of ideas today.
She is. Y'all, on that note, talking about Kimberly, one of the many reasons I love, and I'm trimming the back off, the crafting community is the people who are so kind and so caring and look out for each other, pray for each other, hold fundraisers if needed for somebody. It's just been an incredible opportunity to meet people that I would not have otherwise probably have met. Kimberly's one of them, and we went to Kansas City for an event, and I kind of got in late in the game and didn't have necessarily, I didn't have a room at one of the Airbnbs where everybody was staying. And so Kimberly graciously stepped up and said that not only, and I'd never met her, she'd never met me, not only could I stay in her room, but I could share the king-size bed with her. Now y'all, not too many people are going to do that with a complete stranger. And then our sweet sister Diana Rutledge roomed with us, and she slept in there on an air mattress. And we had such a fun time at that event. And Kimberly lives in Seattle. I don't think, unless some other event happened, that I would have ever met Kimberly or Diana or Beth with Rekindle Blessings from the Sparkle event. I don't think I would have met those people if it were not for the crafting community. And I can tell you that it moves my heart when I see this community step up to help people who are in need. It really, really does, because I'm very mission-minded myself, and Scripture says, whenever you've done it unto the least of one of these, you've done it unto me. And so it really, really warms my heart when I see that. Okay, let me straighten this back out and show you so far. Okay, thank you for those hearts. I appreciate you. Okay, now we're going to take one of these wood rounds. Can you hand me that box right there, Rodney? Here's the box. It's 30 pieces. And it was $19.99, so I obviously didn't get it at the Dollar Tree. But they're just little wood cutouts. So, I didn't really like just the natural color, so I'm going to take my bare wax that I get at Home Depot. And this is in the dark antique. And I'm going to take my little brush right here, and I'm just going to go all the way around the top of this round, because I want it to look more like it's down in the ground. And then I'm going to rub some off. This way you can also see the grain of the wood. Of course, it's not really going to matter because we're going to cover it with a little bit of Spanish moss. So let me get a clean paper towel.
Beth said, I'm so thankful to have met you. The community helped me in the hardest time of my life.
Exactly.
And I'll always be grateful.
And Beth is my sister. I just love her. Love her, love her. And she and Randy went through hell on earth.
And we got an amen from Kimberly.
A what?
An amen.
An amen. Yes, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, then I bought a dowel rod and had Rodney cut it into pieces for me.
5/16.
I came in here, 5/16 dowel rod. I came in here and got some paint in Deco Art Americana Hauser Light Green and Deco Art Americana Cadmium Yellow. Okay? And I just basically made them all green to begin with, and then I dry brushed some yellow over it just so it would have a little bit of dimension and not just be a solid green. Now these are, it's never walked away. You're right. Your God has never walked away, but you do go through hell on earth, sister. Okay, so now I need to find in all of these little knots right here where the hole was cut into the lid so I can stick the dowel pin in there.
You should have cut a different color one.
Well, I know, I should have, and I kept saying I need a safety pin or something to stick down in here so I can see where it is, and I know I've been around this thing already once. I'll get to it. Hold, please.
It'd be funny if you picked one up that I didn't drill a hole in.
Oh, that would not be funny. Rodney's kind of a jokester.
Yeah.
If y'all follow us, you'll get to know that he's kind of a jokester. Oh, I think I found it. Kimberly can vouch for that. Beth can probably vouch for that. Yep, I found it. I got it all covered up with fabric, but I found it. You push that fabric out of the way, stick this up in here. There we go. Now let's fluff it back out where I twisted everything.
Leave it up like that.
Yeah, for a minute. Okay, put it down here in the little wood round. Look how cute. Now, let's take a little Spanish moss, which I love, but y'all, it is so messy. Thank you for all those hearts. I appreciate you. So messy. Okay. I'm just randomly.
Don't know what's happening with that alarm. Messed you up.
Well, y'all, mine still shows live.
It's back live.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We got 2 of them made. There comes some hearts. All right, let me get some of this out of the way and we'll work on the next one. And I think the next one, what we might do is make, what do y'all think about mixing the yellow and the red? Would that be good?
Thank y'all for coming back on.
Yes, I appreciate you coming back, y'all. My alarm clock is what's doing it. I thought I had that turned off, but I guess not. What do you think about yellow and red? Do y'all like that idea? Throw me some hearts if you like the idea of yellow and red mixed for a sunflower. I mean, as my art teacher used to say, I'm the artist, I'm in charge. So just remember that when you're doing your work too. That you do you. See my nimble fingers. Okay, Kimberly said let's try it. Okay, we're gonna try it, Kimberly. When I taught preschool, I think oh, these are so hard to tie. When I taught preschool, I told the parents on parent night at the very beginning, I said, now every day we will do an art project, but I do not want you to expect your children to come home with a masterpiece. They are 3 years old. They're not going to be able, oh, I did that the wrong direction. They're not going to be able to come home with a masterpiece. And most of the time, I did not make a sample. And the reason I didn't make a sample was because if I made a sample of whatever it was we were doing, the children were going to want theirs to look just like mine. Can you tilt it down a little bit, Rodney? And I'm going to get it, y'all. I'm not going to let it beat me. So, you know, I would tell the children, for example, you know, why don't you draw me some pumpkins? Let's do pumpkins today, and we'll talk about the color orange, and we would talk about what else was, what other foods were orange, and how do you make the color orange? And so we would have all these little, okay, I'm going to start with the big one. All these little discussions about pumpkins and about the color orange and about fall. And so some of them would take their, whether we were working with markers or crayons or paint or whatever, some of them would make their pumpkins blue, or, you know, their pumpkins circular, or maybe their pumpkins weren't even round. And that would be fine. And what I told the parents was, I said, when your child comes home with their art project today, ask them to tell you about it. Don't ask them why they did something the way they did it. Let me find something to stick in here to mark this time. Don't ask them why they did something the way they did it. Just say, tell me about your art project, and listen to their story. They may tell you that we talked about yellow or orange and pumpkins and fall and all that, and they, you know, well, that didn't work. They may come up with something totally off the wall that doesn't mean a thing to you. And that's okay too, because children at that age need to be able to use their imaginations and explore. And my goal was to try to bring that out in them, not to discourage them because I put something up there that I had made and said, now you make one just like it. They weren't capable of that. So when I bought a painting from my art teacher, this fabric does not like me. I don't want to have a little fit on here. My art teacher painted a picture one time that I absolutely loved of zebras. She actually ended up painting several like that, and I bought one from her. She had done what's called an underpainting first. So when you do an underpainting in watercolor, you basically just put red, some shade of red, a shade of yellow, and a shade of blue down on your paper. You start out with yellow, and you just make random strokes. You're not thinking in terms of a subject at all. You're just doing random strokes of color. And it's real juicy wet color, so it starts running down the paper, or you wet it and help it run down the paper. Then you go back and you do some red, and then you go back and you do some blue. And the goal is to make every corner look different and to make it look almost like an Easter egg. That's how pastel it is. It's like an Easter egg. But they're really pretty, and you can do several at one time. Then when you get ready to actually paint, you can look through all of your underpaintings and say, oh, which one do I think would hold whatever I'm going to be painting best, and put your paint on there. So that's what she had done with the zebras. She had done an underpainting, and some of the zebras didn't have all white stripes. They had some white stripes, and then they had like some blue, turquoise blue, or pink, or whatever. And I've had a couple people come in my house over the years and see the zebras and say, why are those zebras painted pink? Or why are those zebras painted blue? And I just say, well, because she's the artist and she was in charge, and that's what she wanted.
Cheryl Kelm is watching from Wisconsin. She
Hey,
says she
Cheryl.
loves your story about teaching preschoolers. She was a preschool teacher for 20 years and loved it.
I
Retired,
know.
but she misses the littles now.
Such a blessing, but you kind of get burnt out sometimes.
And Cynthia Carwood, so she taught 3-year-olds, 2, and she told the parents the same thing.
Yeah, I've never liked it when I've seen, I don't even like it really in elementary school, when I see even an art teacher come up and say, okay, here's what we're going to make today, and then the art teacher holds it up. And of course, the art teacher's an adult and probably been doing art for years, and the children look at it and think, I can't do that, you know. So it's okay to give them some guidelines, but there was a poem one time, and I can't remember the name of it. I've said several times I was going to look it up, and I keep forgetting. It was called Color the Sky Yellow or something like that, and the whole poem was about the fact that people see things differently with their eye. So just because you think that the sky is supposed to be blue doesn't mean that the sky is always blue.
You got a lot of Texas people on here.
Tell you one thing, these make sure you use longer strips than I did. That's my lesson for today.
And the Junk Winch is watching.
And I saw her on here. I like her. I follow her. You know, there's some great crafters out there, and everybody has their own unique style. Even though we may do some things like each other, everybody kind of puts their own twist on it, and that's what I love. I love that we can all be unique and different and produce some really cool things. One of the things Tammy said was to share, you know, what we sell. Ronnie and I have never sold anything yet. I have some original watercolor paintings that I probably at some point will sell. And we've got so many crafts taking up so much room that we need to have like an auction or something. But I really don't want to do that until I know that there's going to be enough interest and enough people present to do it. Because, you know, I don't want to say I'm going to have an event and then 2 or 3 people show up and expect them to, you know, purchase things. So we're just kind of waiting until we feel like the time is right, and then we will have, I guess, an auction probably. I'm not real sure exactly what we will do, but I think we'll probably, you know, try an online auction at some point.
Terry Clark Parsons says, "You're in my favorite place to visit. We love Nashville."
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I love Nashville, too. I was actually born in Bowling Green, Kentucky, but my parents moved here when I was a little girl, so I still have relatives in Bowling Green, and I love Bowling Green, but really I say I'm from Nashville. And we live on the outskirts of Nashville. We live in Franklin. So that's a little suburb, I guess you would say, of Nashville. Lots to do around here, and Nashville is growing, growing, growing so fast it makes your head spin. And I don't like it. I'm like a big baby when it comes to that. Could you maybe cut me a few more long strips of this about 1 inch wide, because I'm afraid I'm going to run out. Okie doke.
That's some tough cloth, isn't it?
I think we're going to get one more finished. That's awesome.
What time do you need to be doing?
I'll stop at 2 o'clock.
2 bells, all right.
I watched our church online today. That always makes my day go better when I can either be there or worship. I think sometimes we get so busy with life that we forget what the main thing is for those of us who are Christians. And I'm not saying, you know, that you have to be a Christian by any means. I know people have different faiths and celebrate it in different ways. But if you ever want a service to watch because you're home for whatever reason, our church is crosspoint.tv. But if you go to YouTube, you can watch the replays. We have a 9 o'clock service and 9:30 service, an 11 service, and maybe a 12:30 service. I'm not sure. They're all the same. The music's the same. The preaching's the same. But we are a multi-site church. So we have several campuses around the Nashville area. And then we have a campus called God Behind Bars that is in the women's prison here, so they can worship and learn from Scripture. So it's a great, great community. Ronnie and I have been there from the beginning of the church, which is how old now, Ronnie? I don't even know.
No idea.
20 some odd years, I guess. It's not a denomination. It's you probably call it an interdenomination. These loops are driving me crazy.
I cut the yellow ones a little longer. You'll have
Good.
to trim them.
Used to, my fingers would handle these little pieces, but not anymore.
Let's see what comments we got going on here. Leona Smith is watching.
Hello, Leona.
Wendy Smith, got 2 Smiths in a row. Lisa Wooters is watching.
Hey, Lisa Wooter.
And Beth is still on. Victoria.
Y'all, Beth is coming on next with Rekindle Blessings. Make sure you refresh your page and watch her. Join her page. She and Randy are precious and have a lot of fun together. And Beth does some absolutely amazing crafts. She's probably the only crafter I know to do some big projects like she does. Beth is not afraid to do big, whether it's furniture or a big statue she's picked up somewhere. That girl will jump in there with both feet and get her done. And you know, I had marked this with hot melt glue on the inside of where
You covered it up.
yeah, I did. That's okay. We found the other one. We'll find this one. So what color do y'all think the center on this one should be? Should it be a red center? Because I have one, so far I have one that's red center and one that's a yellow center. So, tell me in the comments.
What's the choices?
Red or yellow? I have this, but we're not going to use that for the center because that's what some of the pieces are.
Nikki Hunter's watching.
I have this red tie-dye. I had a whole bunch more of this. I didn't realize I had more of this, but that one's the other one that we're using. This and this. So, tell me in the comments what color you think we should do next for the center.
Terry Parsons from Blackwell, Texas is watching. She commented earlier, but I don't have any idea where Blackwell is.
Blackwell,
Of course,
Texas.
Texas is bigger than a lot of countries, so.
Yeah, that's true. And everything's bigger in Texas, don't you know? Don't you know?
Pretty big.
All right, I'm going to have to make room for 2 more. That's going to end on the wrong with 2 side by side.
Kimberly says, I like the red tie-dye.
Red tie-dye.
Mandy.
Well, we have 2 red tie-dye, so I guess I'll just pick one.
Mandy with Wonderful Whimsicals.
Yeah, she was on right before me. She surely was. Okay, one more of these reds. And we'll do the middle.
Terry says it's near Abilene. That'd be a good song.
We're Abilene Christian
I bet there's more songs
University
about Texas than nearly any other state.
Probably. All my exes live in Texas. I know that one. Except I don't have any exes. Ronnie and I have been married 43 years. This year in June it will be.
In June it will be? This year.
We got married in 80.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Were you doubting me?
No, I just thought you said will be and June's already gone.
Oh, that's true. It is.
You just don't remember that great celebration.
Yeah, I remember that big celebration we had.
It was your year to plan it this year.
Listen to him, y'all.
But next year is going to be the big one.
I'm sure. I'm not going to hold my breath.
We might go back to the Pizza Hut.
Y'all, our first date was at a Pizza Hut in the little town outside where he's from. And I want you to know, that was 44 years ago. And we went back on which anniversary, Ronnie?
40th, probably.
40th. And we went back to that Pizza Hut. And, of course, the waiters and waitresses, that's cute, are not the same. But the waitress came up and, is this the tie-dye you're talking about? See, I have this one, the lighter one.
The red one doesn't look tie-dyed.
Well, Maybe this one's what she's talking about. Let's do this one. And so we walked in, and this little waitress comes up, and we were sitting on the same side of the booth, you know, like we did when we were dating. But he sat over there by me, and the waitress comes up, and I don't know if Rodney told her, I told her that we were celebrating our anniversary by coming, that's our first date was there, you know, and we were just being silly and cutting up, and she just kind of looked at us like, oh, okay. Okay, well, that's great.
Who cares?
And it was like, you're supposed to be excited for us, girl. We've been together a long time, and at the restaurant where you work was our first date. And y'all, he proposed to me in a cave. That's another story for another time. But that was the last time I was in a cave.
Not true.
Because he loves spelunking, and he had been in lots of caves, and he doesn't mind going in caves, and I didn't want to go in a cave. And but he just, and I said, is there going to be anybody else in there? And he said, nope, nobody else.
Jamie Krause is watching.
So we walk in, well, I slid into the cave, let's put it that way. And took me back, sat me on this big old rock people put graffiti on and stuff. Said it was going to be for another day, didn't I?
Yeah,
Here I am
did.
telling it.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I heard this sound. Oh, what am I doing? I didn't put this on here yet. I heard this sound. And I said, what was that? And he goes, nothing. And I said, you told me there was nobody in here but us. And he said, there's not. And I said, what is that fluttering sound I keep hearing? And he said, it's just the bats above us. Y'all, whoo! I said, get me out of this cave right now. Don't waste any time. He was like, it's okay. I said, get me out of the cave now. And he goes, okay, I just need to ask you one question real quick. I said, hurry up. I want out of this cave. And he said, will you marry me? I hadn't even known him but about a month and a half, 2 months. And I said, if you'll get me out of this cave, I'll do anything. And then when I got outside the cave, I was like, wait, what did I just do? I just told this man I would marry him. And I did.
Baby Harris's bats. Put a bunch of bat emojis on there.
And I told him that would never happen again. So, on that same year anniversary, he had told me to pack a bag. We were going to go away for the night or the weekend or whatever. And I said, where are we going? He said, you'll see. And so we went to that Pizza Hut. But then, I didn't know this, but in the back, he also had a backpack full of caving equipment. And so the next day, we're riding out in the country, and I said, where are we going? And he said, you'll see. And I said, you better not be taking me to a cave, because I told you I'm not going in a cave. He said, just relax, enjoy the ride, just relax. So I'm trying to relax as I'm over there fuming, knowing he's probably up to something like this. And sure enough, he drove up to a cave and got that bag out. And I said, I told you I'm not going in this cave. And he said, we're not going in it. We're just going to put on the same gear we had on the night I proposed to you. And we're going to stand outside and take a selfie. Nobody had even heard of a selfie when we got married. So I put on the coveralls of his I had worn that night, and the little headgear that my light was burnt out on that when we went in the cave. So he gave me all the gross stuff, and then he kept all the good stuff. So yeah, that was the one time I was in a cave, and the only time I was in a cave. And the only time I will ever be in a cave.
In a wild
now,
cave.
I've been in Mammoth Cave,
Yeah.
like places where they give you tours and stuff, but not in a wild cave like that where you just go in and you're slip sliding away and you have no idea which end is the way out. And
149.
so top that, y'all. I bet somebody can.
Probably so.
I just want some of this extra out of here. I should have trimmed it up like I did the other one first. Let me get it all trimmed.
Now on this one, do you have it marked where you're already found where the stick
No,
is yet?
I did, but I haven't found it yet.
Well, let's see here. If we can get some
Okay, that'll be enough out of there. So let's fluff it out a little bit. Get all the Spanish moss off of it. Look, it's cute. Recreate the proposal. That's very sweet. Kimberly, don't give him any ideas. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Not with me. He did it once. Burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me.
You got that right.
So, don't forget that all you have to do is refresh your page on CCC. And Beth with Rekindled Blessings is coming up next. I'm sure it will be fabulous. She doesn't do anything that's not fabulous. And keep watching creators. I love days like today, especially when it's on a Sunday, because you know Sunday's supposed to be a day of rest, right? How many of us actually really rest on Sunday? I used to take a nap on Sunday, but I don't anymore. And so on days like this, see, I can just lay down in the recliner or in my bed and just watch crafter after crafter after crafter, and not have to worry about my page or, you know, getting up and doing something, chores or whatever. Nope. I'm going to rest and I'm going to watch my crafting friends. And Tammy, again, I want to say thank you so much for letting me participate in this amazing event. It's been so much fun. Come on, Lisa. It's going, y'all. It's going. No, it didn't.
Is that the one you put the hot milk on?
Well, I put it on the outside of the little rim. It's not.
You want me to so I can get it in there?
No.
Okay. I can do this job all by myself.
I know that's hard for you to believe. Whoops, that popped back out on me. I debated on putting leaves on these, but then I decided, nah, I think they're too cute the way they are. I don't think they have to have leaves. I can always go back and get some like fabric, some green fabric, and make some leaves and stick on them, but they're probably going to end up being surrounded by other stuff anyway, so there's really no reason to feel like I have to put leaves on them. This one's leaning a little bit. A leaning sunflower. Okay, let's put our little Spanish moss on here.
Is it rocking because the stick went through the backside a little bit?
It did go through. I thought I pulled it back, but maybe not. I can pull it. Oh, back up. Ouchie, ouchie. Ouchie, ouchie.
Move it back toward you just a little if you can, to get the camera, or I can move the camera down even one.
That's okay. I'll pull it back in just a minute.
There you go.
Okay. Now, let me set them all up.
Can you scroll up and pin Beth link?
Can I scroll up and pin? Oh,
Beth,
okay. Let me
Beth
get.
put her link on there a second ago.
If it's up, if I can scroll all the way back up, Ron, you may be able to scroll more than me. Let me see. Beth, there it is, right there. Hold on. Tammy, how do I do that? I've got her page right here.
Can you copy it and pin it?
No. I'm not sure how to pin that, Tammy. Let's see. Well, is Tammy telling me how to pin it? Beth, can you tell me how to pin?
It will ask you to pin.
Well, I clicked on the comment. It's not telling me to do anything. It's like, reply, ban, or suspend. No, see, that's all ban or suspend or block. I don't see how to do it. I'm sorry. Beth, can you put your link in the comments? Okay, let's put these all over and see what we have. Ronnie, can you back it up a little bit?
Back it up.
Or straighten it up a little bit?
Up higher.
Well, actually, it needs to come down lower.
Okay.
Because these are all kind of, these look like weeping sunflowers.
Yeah, I think I've got do it this way. How about this?
Right. There you go. That's much better. All right. So let's see if we can kind of zhuzh them up a little bit. May need to trim a little bit more. Some of the fabric is turned backwards, but you know what? That doesn't bother me, because then if somebody walks around behind them, they'll see some fabric from behind too. And I like for all my projects to look good on the back as well as the front, which these don't look fabulous. I could go back and either put some fabric in there or paint them. Let's see if we can trim this one up a little bit. Okay, did Beth get hers in there? I'll see. Well, that's still where I had it, I think. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was going to do one more, but you know we're supposed to do things in odd numbers. So, but these you could put anywhere. I could even sit these on a table on my porch. And I think they turned out pretty cute.
Squirrel.
Green fabric on the back would be perfect. That's a good idea, Mandy. Real good idea.
Vicky says they're
Mickey
adorable.
Brizard. Thank you so much, you guys. This has been so much fun. What's the time on your clock right
56.
56. Okay, I got a couple, 3 minutes. Let's show them a couple of other things we have made. Maybe from over there. Bring my watercolor pumpkin, will you? So, I told y'all I love watercolor, and I decided I wanted to try to make a watercolor pumpkin. It's fine, Rodney, right where you are. Bring me my watercolor pumpkin on the end of the TV tray over there. So, I decided I'm going to try, Rodney. No. Next TV tray.
This?
TV tray.
Oh, this one.
Watercolor pumpkin.
That's not watercolor.
Honey, the little one.
Oh, this one. There's so many pumpkins to choose from. I can bring them all over.
So this was a styrofoam pumpkin. And in order for it to take the watercolor, I put 2 coats of gesso, clear gesso on it first. I could have put the white gesso on, but I put 2 coats of gesso, and then I just watercolor painted it, and it did really, really well.
See this one?
This, I love the paper mache pumpkins from Hobby Lobby. So this has some velvet, some real deep, rich purple velvet on it. And then in between sections, hey Shirley, is our Totally Dazzled appliques. And then I just filled her up with lots and lots of flowers. So I did that one.
There's another pumpkin.
And then this was a shoe that was supposed to be like a Victorian shoe that I found at Goodwill.
58.
And I used some paper down here, I think from Digital Deco Designs, and decoupaged it. This is some black crushed glass. Rodney and I have some crushed glass colors. And then I did this Harlequin print on it, and then filled it with flowers. I did a book pumpkin, so I've got lots and lots of pumpkin stuff. I don't mind pumpkin stuff. I'm just not big on Halloween. I was when my children were little. Okay, thank you guys so very much for being on here. Thank you again, Tammy. I've enjoyed this event. It's been a blast. And you all refresh your page and watch my sweet friend Beth and watch the rest of the creators. Have a blessed day. Go out and bless someone. Bye.